Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pastor Maureen from the Congregational Church of Amherst, and I'm bringing you a video update here on this Wednesday afternoon from my office. As you can see, I'm back working in my office this week, and there are two reasons why I wanted to give you an update this afternoon. Number one, if you've gotten an email from me this morning and you're on our church email list, and it was a short email asking for help or to give me a call or could you do something for me, please know that this is the same unfortunate scam email that's been going around. We've had this happen to us 3 times already in the past 2 years. It doesn't mean we've been hacked, so we don't need to change any passwords or update our security. It's someone doing what is called spoofing. They take my email address and change it just slightly so you think it's coming from me and it's not. And they take public information that anyone has access to and try and make it seem like the email is coming from me. Many churches and pastors have been dealing with this across our country in the past couple of years. So again, there's nothing we can do about it. If you do get it, don't reply to it. It's a scam. They want you to buy gift cards or money orders or something like that. Just know that I would never send an email like that with asking you to call or without any information letting you know what's going on. So just forward it to us. Say, hey, I got this. We should let you know this is going on again. There's no emergency. There's no reason for you to immediately get in touch with us to make sure that we're okay. So just wanted to pass that along. The main purpose of my update this afternoon is to let you know what our plans are going forward. As many of you know, Governor Sununu announced a new expanding of the loosening of the stay-at-home rules for the state of New Hampshire last week, and churches were included in that, including churches being allowed to gather once again at a suggested 40% capacity in their sanctuaries, and that's with taking all the precautions of social distancing, wearing masks, sanitizing surfaces, suggestions of not singing, all of that. If you're wondering, you can access things online. Like this one denomination has a checklist of what churches need to go through to prepare for these regathering services. This one is 4 pages long. So there's a lot involved in this. So I just wanted to let you know that our council met last night and decided to put together an ad hoc team to look at the guidelines from the CDC, the recommendations from our own New Hampshire Conference of the United Church of Christ and what other churches are doing. Look at the feasibility of doing it, what the actual logistics of doing this and preparing to come together for worship will be. Putting together a multi-stage plan where we might roll out gradually coming together in small groups and multiple services, things like that, as we go into the fall. Part of this ad hoc team's role would be to poll you, to ask the congregation, how are you feeling about gathering? And if we did, would you come? And ultimately, it'll be this team's will be charged with presenting these findings and the plan and making a recommendation to the council and the congregation about a decision to gather again for worship. And we're giving them a timeline of having this done by early to mid-August, which means the earliest we would consider gathering for in-person worship would be late August or September. Just to give you an idea of the timeline. Now, we are considering some smaller scale outdoor gatherings over the summer. We can do our back porch theology sessions or other adult ed gatherings outside, with masks, sitting apart. We may continue to do our share drives, which is a great way for us to keep in touch with one another, meet socially for brief periods of time, and also collect donations to share and take care of those in our community in need. We also might do some kind of outdoor Levi Saturday with social distancing to help clean up our property. So there are other things we have in mind. Groups and teams within the church who may want to gather, we'll encourage you to do so offsite if possible, if you want to gather at somebody's home outdoors. And that will just limit the amount of people we have coming in and out of the building, as it's not being cleaned regularly. And we do need to have staff members and other PIV members who are still using the building. We just want to make sure it's safe for all of you. So if you want to gather in small groups, the recommendation would be that you do that offsite at somebody's house if you'd like. Kate and I will be part of the reopening ad hoc team, so we will continue to take into consideration, how the virus is progressing in our state, the risks involved in gathering, and the precautions that we need to take, and ultimately the safety of all of you and the inclusion of those of you who are most vulnerable among us as we decide to gather or not. Also, how it will affect our online worship. So many of you have been enjoying how we might continue that if we decide to gather in our sanctuary or outside or in any other way. So we all are longing to be together as a congregation, but just as we chose to proceed with caution back in March, and we chose to cease our in-person gathering, we're going to use the same caution as we move forward into the summer and contemplate gathering first in small groups and then together as a congregation in the fall, if that's possible. But as I keep saying, we are still a very active church. So we have our Sunday worship every Sunday. Tune into that on Facebook or on our websites. Kate and I will be moving back into the sanctuary to record our services in a couple of weeks. So you'll get to see inside the sanctuary again, and we'll include some recorded music from Michael and Sarah, as they won't be gathering with us just yet. So that's something you have to look forward to in the coming weeks. Kate will continue to do her offerings for her church school check-ins with the kids during the week and with the parents or parents group. So we'll be keeping in touch that way. As I mentioned, we'll have some summer adult ed offerings outside and online as well. I'm considering doing some green gatherings, instead of having office hours like we used to. Maybe I'll take my lunch out on the green on Wednesdays from 1 to 3, and people can bring a chair. We'll gather in a wide circle, just check in, maybe have a topic to discuss, try and keep it on the small side, under 10, and see how that works for a while. But we are continuing to be church together even as we are apart, and we are creative, we are inventive, and the Spirit is moving through us. So I continue to pray for all of you and for our congregation and our community as we move into the summer of, loosening restrictions, but continued social distancing. So keep checking in with us, keep checking in with each other, keep being the church outside of these walls, and be safe and be well, and God bless.